I'm Dr. Divya. I'm here to discuss the topic the way women can develop healthy bladder habits. Bladder is an important organ which we are not concerned about unless we have facing the problem. So November is considered to be Bladder Health Month, and this topic is very important because most of the time a lot of people will have problems with the bladder, but they never come to a practitioner to discuss regarding the problem. This is because they feel that they are the only one who are facing the problem. Hence, they don't come forward to discuss this. Women are more disproportionately affected with this bladder problem than men. This is because of the fact that women urethra is only short and it is placed between the vagina and bowel. And women also undergo a lot of changes because of the hormones, because of pregnancy, because of the delivery, because of the wear and tear of the pelvic floor muscle which holds the bladder in place. These disturbances are more common in women. So having a proper healthy bladder habit is important to maintain the bladder health and prevent long-term complications because of those. So I'm here to discuss few tips and facts which is even approved by the National Urological Society, which helps to keep your bladder healthy. The first one is timed emptying of the bladder. What do you mean by timed emptying of the bladder? We usually empty our bladder whenever it is absolutely necessary. But it is important that we have to empty our bladder every 3 to 4 hours. That will prevent the bladder from holding long term the urine, so that there is a more chance when the urine is retained for long, the chances of infection is more. So hence timing the emptying is very important because that would flush out all the organism when it is done every 3 to 4 hours. So usually 5 to 6 times avoiding in the daytime and once in the night is normal. The second one we are concerned about is drinking adequate fluid. What is meant by drinking adequate fluid? So adequate fluid is in the sense each one has different bladder habits and each one's body has a different necessity for the water. So usually we recommend 8 to 10 glasses of water per day. That is almost like 2 to 3 liters would be sufficient. So when the urine is pale, it means that you are drinking adequate quantity. When it is dark color, it means that you have not drank adequate quantity of water. Hence, it is important to drink adequate quantity of water to keep your bladder flushed so that infection will not occur. The third thing is do not avoid or delay the rush to go to washroom. This is because whenever there is a rush, if you are not going to void, there is a chance that there will be a clogging of urine in your bladder, and there is a chances of infection which can build up in your bladder and you will have urinary infection. And also it is important to sit in a proper position while voiding. It means you should sit relaxed in a toilet to completely void your urine, because emptying the bladder completely is very important, because unless you empty your bladder completely, there is a repeated urge to pass urine would be there, and whatever the urine which is retained in the bladder causes lot of organism to stay there and build up, and it will cause lot of infection. And the next thing is, especially in women, there is a pelvic floor exercise called Gegel's exercise. This is very important post delivery to strengthen those pelvic floor muscles, because that will also help to control the bladder. This would help in preventing any bladder infection, because bladder will be strengthened by these exercises. And there is also important to avoid leaks which happens post delivery. And the other thing is that it is important to avoid before and after the sex. So usually the sexual activity will derange the organisms which is in that private area. So a lot of organism can go inside the urethra from the bowel as well as vagina during the sexual activity. So it is important for both male and female to urinate before and after the sex. And the other thing very important in female is we have to clean our private part from front to back and not from back to front. Whenever we clean it from back to front, there is lot of possibility that bowel organism can get into the urethra and cause urinary infection. So it is important always to keep your private plot clean, and it is important to wipe from front to back. We have to teach our young girls also to follow this habit from the childhood itself. And the next thing would be like wearing a cotton underwears. Why it is important to wear cotton underwears? Because either the tight fitting underwears or nylon underwears will keep the private area moist, and there is a possibility that lot of organism can grow in that moist area, and you will be more prone for this infection. And the next thing is you have to have concern about what you eat. See, most of the time your bladder pattern would be changed because of some foods which you take. One is like spicy food, any acidic food, and sweetened beverages and chocolates. All these has a capacity to change your bladder pattern. So those who have urinary problem, they better avoid these kind of food to reduce their urinary problem, because these acidic or these kind of caffeinated drinks will irritate the bladder. So the bladder pattern will be changed, and those who have other problems like urinary incontinence, these will initiate these urinary incontinence problem, and it will increase this problem so much. Doing a healthy exercise and keeping your weight ideal is also very important to maintain the urinary bladder, because when you're not exercising, your body will not be that active. When the body is active, the excretory system will be functioning properly, and also when your weight is in the normal limit, you can prevent lot of infections, and as well as it also avoids the incontinence problem. And coming to other things like avoiding constipation will help to keep your bladder healthy. How it helps is that, see, whenever your bowel is loaded with stool, it will compress the bladder. The capacity of the bladder to expand would be decreased, so that your bladder will be voiding every now and then. So this will be little irritating to everyone. So it is important to have a healthy bowel habit also. So usually taking adequate fluid and having a lot of fiber in your diet helps to keep your bowel empty and have a healthy bowel habit. Those women who take alcohol and smoking, it is important to avoid that to help you keep your bladder healthy. And there are few things which you have to take care of. And whenever these things happen, you have to meet your health practitioner. One is when there is increased frequency or urgency for passing urine, and you're unable to initiate urination or unable to empty your bladder completely. When your urine is cloudy, when there is blood in urine, these are the conditions where you have to meet your practitioner to sort out the infection. Whatever we have spoken are simple things, but we don't do it routinely. So it is important to follow the simple tips to take care of long-term health problem of your bladder. And it is important to at least schedule our bladder, and also to take care of your diet and lifestyle to keep your bladder healthy. Happy bladder will make your life happy.